On August 31st, 2024, the New Development Bank concluded its 9th annual meeting in the city of Cape Town, South Africa, under the theme, Investing in a Sustainable Future. The event brought together over 520 leaders, decision makers, and experts to discuss strategies for promoting sustainable investments in crucial infrastructure. Deputy President of South Africa, His Excellency Mr. Paul Mashatile, emphasized the importance of cross-learning among NDB member countries to achieve energy security in South Africa in his keynote speech.
Let us remember that our shared goal is not just about keeping the lights on. It is about powering our economies, creating opportunities for our people, and safeguarding our planet for future generations.
At the opening ceremony, the NDB President, Her Excellency Mrs. Dilma Rousseff, addressed the pressing issue of rising debt in developing countries.
For our developing countries, indebtedness becomes an excessive burden. As we know, fiscal space is essential to ensure that governments can simultaneously invest in developed actions, combat climate change, and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
She emphasized the need for new financial solutions for emerging markets and developing countries, highlighting the NDB's focus on diversifying funding sources and using local currencies. The NDB's Board of Governors identified development finance, increased lending capacity, private sector engagement, and expanding membership as key priorities.
In line with our aspiration as a BRICS countries, the NDB has truly emerged as a platform for promoting sustainable development and addressing the challenges faced by developing nations.
The New Development Bank has taken a critical step towards increasing its lending headroom. As we look into the future, it's imperative that the New Development Bank continue its collaborative efforts with other MDBs in the areas of co-financing and knowledge sharing.
The scale of these needs is increasing, particularly as we are approaching 2030, and Africa alone faces an infrastructure financing gap of more than $100 billion annually. This is where the NDB's role becomes very crucial, not only in providing financial resources, but also in leveraging private sector investments and co-financing arrangements that can amplify collective impact, as we heard from previous speakers.
The NDB is a landmark achievement for BRICS cooperation. In the past 9 years since its inception, the NDB has made fruitful achievements in institutional development, operations, and international cooperation.
At the flagship seminar titled Unlocking Financing for Sustainable Development in Emerging Markets and Developing Countries, guests discuss bridging the infrastructure financing gap through partnerships with multilateral banks, financial institutions, and the private sector.
Looking ahead, to get from where we are to where we need to be, we must use every tool at our disposal. This means traditional sources of financing, both international and national, South-South flows, as well as innovative means to crowd in the private sector.
As the two new MDBs created in the 21st century, the design of both NDB and AIIB has been informed by the rich experience of the NDBs that came before. One such common feature is governance structure that provide developing countries with a meaningful and a resounding voice on development issues.
There can be no doubt that climate change is the most serious global challenge of our time. But from an EMDC and African perspective, there are many opportunities and potential solutions, and there are as many as the risks.
At the high-level seminar on energy, Mrs. Patricia de Lille, Acting Minister of Electricity and Energy, Government of South Africa, reiterated the importance of cross-learning and leveraging each member country's experiences. The energy seminar featured BRICS experts discussing energy reforms, policies, technologies, and the private sector's role in securing South Africa's energy future. The last open session for the NDB annual meeting, titled Development Finance Institutions at the Forefront of Infrastructure Investment, explored strategies for increasing NDB collaboration on global issues, local currency financing approaches, and enhancing credit assessments. At the annual meeting, the NDB signed a R5 billion loan to Transnet to modernize the freight and rail sector.
The NDB has signed an agreement with us for R5 billion loan that will assist us with all of the infrastructure challenges that we currently have, particularly with the rail network. We of course want to utilize that so that we can get the network to the right standard, so that it is able to accommodate Transnet as well as private operators who may want to utilize the network.
The New Development Bank approved a $1 billion loan to South Africa to finance water and sanitation projects and ensure basic services to poor households. With these, the NDB's total infrastructure financing in South Africa has reached $6.8 billion over the past 8 years, covering crucial sectors like energy, water, transport, climate, and more. During the 3-day event, the NDB's management engaged with stakeholders, including government, private sector, media, civil society, and think tanks to discuss strategies for a more inclusive, resilient, and sustainable future. As the NDB wraps up its 9th annual meeting, the commitment to invest in a sustainable future in the Global South remains at the forefront of the NDB's work.
Invest in a sustainable future is at the core of the bank's activities and is one of the most priorities for the international community. It is rooted in the idea that economic growth, social inclusion, and environmental protection are interconnected and should be pursued simultaneously.
NDB, a multilateral development bank built by developing countries for developing countries.